Hello everybody and welcome back to the Quick Take. In this video I will be going over the news regarding a certain Sporting Lisbon pair of footballers, along with talking just general Chelsea stuff. Before I continue, I would like to quickly remind you I am running a giveaway with OwnASaber.com where at 15,000 subscribers you could be in with a chance at winning the King of London lightsaber, the perfect saber for every Chelsea fan. 3 participants will be chosen and all you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and check the pinned comment down below for more information. And with that, on with the video. So this coming in from Chelsea Georgia 6 hours ago, reporting the news via Fabrizio Romano via Court Offside. Chelsea have been to watch Victor Gyökeres many times, but also his teammate Ousmane Diomande. I think that's why we're having these stories, as both players are among the names on Chelsea's scouting list, but it's nothing concrete at the moment. Now, there has been a lot of talk regarding Chelsea's striker interest, whether we want to talk about the loan move for Karim Benzema, that's potentially on the table. He does want to leave. He does want to leave the Saudi Pro League and is apparently willing to take up to as a 90% pay cut in terms of his weekly wages. And at the moment, he makes £3 million a week. So that goes down to what, 300,000, even less than that, 250,000 a week. Not too bad for Karim Benzema, even if he is 35, 36 years old. But that is not the focus of today's video. No. That is Ousmane Diomande and Victor Gyökeres, who I have covered on the channel. Not Diomande. I haven't covered him in the same detail as I have Victor Gyökeres, so I can talk about Gyökeres more. In terms of a striker, I think he'd be a little bit less of I compared him to Santiago Jimenez. Gyökeres is one of those strikers that takes the ball kind of in the edge, coming into the final third, those sort of areas there, and is able to burst past players using strength, pace, really good ball control, and is able to run at defense. He's a very direct attacker, and he can come into the box from all angles, whether it's coming in from the right, down the center, or off the left. He can do it. And one thing you can count on him to do is to give everything. He is like the Gallagher of strikers, but if Gallagher could actually score goals. I'm not having to go at Gallagher. I know he's good at other stuff on the field. It's just one of the areas he does lack, and that is goal-scoring ability. Victor Gyökeres, of course, being a striker, you would expect him to be able to score more goals than Conor Gallagher. But he is having a very good season. I did see he just missed a pretty close chance in the game today. That is currently going on as I'm recording for Sporting. But hey, even Lionel Messi misses some shots, so we can't hate him for that. I mean, Messi missed a penalty against us. Remember that in the Champions League 2012? 2012. I do remember that. But this story isn't just about Victor Gyökeres. It does also mention Ousmane Diomande, who would be a bit less. I think Gyökeres is going for 100 million euros. That is the price we have to pay. Of course, he does have a release clause, and there was speculation earlier in the window that Chelsea were looking at bidding for him, and we did hear some news regarding a bid, somewhere in the region of 80 million euros. That was revealed to be fake news. However, I have a little conspiracy theory for that. My belief is that actually was discussions between Chelsea and Sporting, and there may be a good chance that Chelsea presented the offer. Listen, what if we offered you 65 million, or what if we offered you 70 million with 10 million or 15 million and add-ons? Would you accept that? And they probably said no. But as things do get leaked, that is maybe where the rumor that Chelsea had made an official bid for 80 million, when in fact we hadn't made an official bid. We were just testing the water with conversations and just trying to get a conversation started regarding a move for potentially Gyökeres to Stamford Bridge. He is a striker I do quite like. There is obviously favourites I do have. I do think Santiago Jimenez or Feyenoord would be a more tailored option for what we need right now. And of course, I'm a big admirer of Benjamin Šeško, but I'm not going to mention his name anymore because I say his name every video, and we are no closer to seeing him joining Chelsea, which makes me even sadder. But Diomande, of course, he is a centre-back, a nice up-and-coming centre-back. He did play against Nigeria in the AFCON, and didn't have a very good game when he was facing someone like Victor Osimhen, which is interesting. The AFCON is an interesting competition because it allows you to see your players at their best, and it allows you to see them tested against some of the best players in world football in Mohamed Salah, Victor Osimhen, and Mohamed Kudus today has been absolutely fantastic. The defenders are tested very heavily against some of the best attackers in world football. Diomande was tested against Osimhen, and to me, he failed that test. I just don't think he's ready right now for what we need. In terms of his defensive abilities, I do think there are better options out there. Whether you want to go for a Marquinhos level player, someone who's far more experienced. I'm not just saying we should go for Marquinhos. I'm just saying if you want to bring in someone who's going to give you a lot more stability at the back, maybe Diomande wouldn't be the best option. I am obviously a big advocate for Antonio Silva, and they are in the same age bracket, so that does make me a massive hypocrite. But I do think Antonio Silva is better defensively and potentially a better ball carrier than Ousmane Diomande is. And I do think he is the next big thing. I think him alongside Josko Gvardiol would be the next big things in terms of centre-backs coming into football. I think they will be the next Ruben Diaz's in that level. And thankfully, we have been linked to Antonio Silva, but that is not the focus for today's news. Moving on to an opinion from Pat Nevin, reported by BBC Sport, and Chelsea Dodgers at the Blue Dodgers on X. My beloved Chelsea at Stamford Bridge regularly has the matchday atmosphere of a mausoleum on a rainy Monday. Quite fitting, as there is a cemetery just behind the main stand. And I completely agree with this. Watching games with the volume on, sometimes I watch with the volume off because I just don't want to hear it. It's bad enough watching it. The performance levels are just not there at the moment. But I do understand watching Chelsea day in, day out, or just going to games at the moment, it must be very draining going there. And having watched the likes of N'Golo Kante bossing the midfield, Drogba up front, John Terry at the back, Frank Lampard, there's all these match-going fans that have been going for decades. They've seen world-class brilliance, and then they come to games and they see this dribble that we're putting out. It just leaves you completely dejected of energy. There's nothing going there. Pat Nevin did also go on to say this about why he would choose Evan Ferguson over Karim Benzema. How many times have Chelsea gone down that route of signing an experienced striker? You think of the certain strikers that Chelsea have signed in the latter stages of their careers, the likes of Shevchenko's and Gonzalo Higuain's. I could go through a number of them. They are all brilliant, but very few of them scored a lot of goals for the club. It's such a short-termist thing, and it's so against what the ethos has been from the club. It would be surprising, but does it mean it won't happen? Absolutely not. It would be interesting, but Evan Ferguson would be the more obvious one to go for. If you're going down the route of signing young striker, Ferguson would be the one I would look at. Honestly, I don't want to do business with Brighton again. Why don't we just do business with RB Leipzig? He's right there. I'm not going to mention his name. He's right there. He's far cheaper. He actually wants to come to the Premier League. You know, what I can actually see happening with Evan Ferguson is he goes to a Man City. I've said before, but Pep Guardiola's contract does end in 2025, and he does believe that Robert De Zerbi is going to be the next Man City manager. So I can quite imagine a world in 2025 or even 2026 where Haaland leaves and joins either a Barcelona, actually not Barcelona, they can't afford him, Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich, or even he's not going to join Chelsea, most likely Real Madrid. He goes to one of those massive clubs outside of the Premier League, and then his big first transfer is Evan Ferguson. I can definitely see that happening, but only time will tell. Will Mystic TQT be right? Let me know in the comment section down below. Very, very, very quiet news today, not like Chelsea. This time last season we had Enzo Fernandez updates left, right and centre. We had Makala Mudryk, Malo Gusto news. Everything was going insane. We had directors flying to Poland and Turkey to get deals done. We had hijacks left, right and centre. You'd have thought, no, I'm not going to make that joke, but it's been so quiet, and I do think that is down to a lack of players that we've had to sell, and a lot of the deals we have done is loans with options or loans with obligations to buy. Lewis Hall, Ian Matson, I think other clubs are looking at getting Broya. I know we've asked for 40, 50, 60, I think £60 million is what we're asking for him. Knowing our luck, it'll probably be a loan with an option to buy, a loan with an obligation to buy, so we won't even get the money until the summer window. And then what will happen towards the later stages of the January window? Who knows? Only time will tell what happens towards the latter stages of this window. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been The Quick Take, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.